Hello, welcome to the Historic Wayne Theater, Ross Performing Arts Center, and yet again, another Monday at the Movies. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Once again, we're very grateful to have you. I'm your fellow film fan and volunteer ambassador host, Jimmy Overton. As usual, before we go into introducing and making a few comments about this Monday's presentation, I want to invite you to join us next Monday, August 24th, for a very special film from 1940, Rebecca, directed by one of the greatest filmmakers in the history of movies, Alfred Hitchcock. This, in fact, was Mr. Hitchcock's first film made in Hollywood. He'd been lured over to Tinseltown from Britain, where he'd already had considerable success, but Hollywood beckoned. And it was something, let's see what this guy can do here in the home of movies. Well, Rebecca, in 1940, nominated for a whopping 11 Oscars, winning Best Picture of the Year. Alfred Hitchcock had arrived, and his legacy will live forever. We'll talk more about it next Monday, but don't miss it. Really, really fun, suspenseful, and it's got a few chills in it also. Rebecca, from Alfred Hitchcock, Joan Fontaine, Laurence Olivier, Judith Anderson, George Sanders. Great, great movie. Next Monday. For this Monday, another very important film for a number of different reasons. From 1961, The Misfits, directed by, once again, one of the great filmmakers of all time, John Huston. It was written by another great person of letters from America, Arthur Miller. And as a matter of fact, one of the stars of this movie, Marilyn Monroe, was Mrs. Arthur Miller at the time, but not for long. The story's out there if you want to look into it. Along with Miss Monroe, Clark Gable stars in the film. And interestingly and sadly, this was the final film for both Marilyn Monroe and Clark Gable. Clark Gable at one point being thought of as the king of Hollywood. And Mr. Gable, before he passed away, said, I have two films in my filmography of which I can be justly proud. Gone with the Wind and The Misfits. It was an important role for him and his final completed film. Same for Marilyn Monroe, two great icons of the screen in their last screen appearance. Along with those two, it starred Montgomery Clift, who almost made it a hat trick by passing away after completing just one additional film. Montgomery Clift was one of the brightest stars in Hollywood when he first arrived, coming from the theater. Strikingly handsome, very, very talented, unique screen presence. He had, like a lot of very, very talented people, famous people, he had a few problems in the personal side of his life that eventually showed up in his professional life as well. More about that in a moment. Clark Gable died of a heart attack shortly after filming the film you're about to see, The Misfits, at age 59. Clark Gable had smoked up to 4 packs of cigarettes a day. 4 packs a day for 30 years. This is a very, very common problem that a lot of big stars from the Golden Age faced. Humphrey Bogart, Audrey Hepburn, all heavy chain smokers for years. Nobody thought anything of it. There was no Surgeon General's warning. Everyone smoked at will, anytime, anywhere. Marilyn Monroe died of an alleged drug overdose a year and a half later at only age 36. The movie The Misfits was on television the night that Montgomery Clift also died in July 1966. His live-in personal secretary came to the study and asked Montgomery Clift if he wanted to watch your film, The Misfits, is on television. Do you want to watch it? His reply was absolutely not. The last words he ever spoke to anyone. He was found, passed away the next morning, having suffered a heart attack during the night at age 45. A doctor was on call 24 hours a day for both Marilyn Monroe and Montgomery Clift during the filming of the Misfits because both were experiencing very serious health problems due to alcohol abuse and abuse of prescription medicines. Marilyn Monroe is reported to have said to Montgomery Clift on the set, "I've never met someone who was in worse shape than me." Now, these stories of the lives of those stars and many others like them are legendary. Are they true? To a certain extent, yes. Have they become Hollywood myth? Definitely. But I'm always reluctant to pull the skeletons out of the closet the information's out there if you want to look into it a little further. But I've always felt protective of these great stars who've passed away because they're not here to tell their side of the story. And there's always two sides to every story. If they were here to tell their side of the story, it would be most fascinating, no doubt. But what we do have is the legacy of their iconic presence on the silver screen. As long as there are movies, people like Clark Gable and Marilyn Monroe and Montgomery Clift will never be forgotten. And time has not diminished the power of these performances one bit, as you're about to see. So now from 1961, Clark Gable, Marilyn Monroe, Montgomery Clift, Eli Wallach, Thelma Ritter, and John Huston's presentation of Arthur Miller's The Misfits. Very important film, my friends. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Important to see it. Until we meet again, make it a double feature. Thank you.